Big titles return back to production. We have a new trailer for Christopher Nolan's Tenet, which still doesn't explain much. There's rumors about new Spider-Man movies, and Amazon is dipping its toes in the video game world. Welcome to the newest episode of SDW.
Super Dario World!
It's a me,
Dario!
Woohoo! Let's go!
Alright, so we got a lot of cover here, but before we get into it, let me just give you a quick reminder that any comments, questions, or suggestions, you can find me at Dario the Show on Instagram or at SuperDario_World. Also, follow my Facebook page, Super Dario World. I update everything there. I also post the links to my other podcasts, Super Dario Brothers and Super Dario World en Español, which is basically the podcast that I do. Well, Super Dario Brothers is the podcast I do with my kid brother. We do it once, twice a week sometimes. And the Spanish one, I'm working on doing it at least once a week, maybe more. I don't know. Basically, I do the same thing, but in Spanish. So, everything, you can find those anywhere, iTunes, SoundCloud, YouTube, the iHeartRadio app, anywhere. But the easiest way for you to find everything is through my Facebook page, because I put the links for everything right there. Super easy for you. So, let's get into the big news. First off, a big title, a major title that I actually talked about, I believe last week, has confirmed that they are resuming their production. And that is the Avatar movies. James Cameron's Avatar movies. I'm not talking about the last Airbender Avatar. I'm talking about the big blue aliens Avatar that was the highest grossing film of all time until the Avengers broke that record. So, here is the official statement from Team James Cameron, and that is that our Avatar sets are ready, and we couldn't be more excited to be headed back to New Zealand next week. Check out the Matador. Well, he's telling them they revealed some set pics, but the point is, Avatar will be going back into production. So the movie that everybody's been waiting for a very long time, looks like they will be officially concluding them. All right, they're going back to shooting. So this actually did mean that it delayed them quite a bit, and it's been pushed back for a full year. So we were expecting to get it on December 18, 2020. Looks like now it's going to be released December 17, 2021. What is this going to do to the rest of the Disney catalog or the MCU character? Because if you guys remember, it's going to be pretty much going to be an Avatar, Star Wars title like that. We don't know. But I'm assuming it will require some shuffling because Disney does not want to be competing with itself. Oh, to clarify, for those of you who don't know, Disney owns the rights to Avatar, to Star Wars, to Marvel, and so I think it'd be really stupid to release major titles at the same time because, well, they're competing against themselves, and that's just stupid. Anyway, this does also mean that the rest of the movies, which so far, it looks like it's going to be 5 Avatar movies in total, will be delayed as well. We don't know how much exactly. I'm assuming that we will be getting more information about that pretty soon. But things going back to normal, the movie's resuming production, we'll see how that goes. On other big news, Amazon Studios, you know, the big retailer, Amazon.com, has decided to dip its toes into the video game world. And by dip its toes, I mean just jump face first into the video game world. It actually has a couple of titles in production. It has released one title so far, and it just released a new free-to-play shooter. This is a third-person shooter. And it seems to me like it's very similar to a Battle Royale game, like a Overwatch or what was the name of the one that wasn't very successful? Battleborn. I don't know why that wasn't successful. They released a catalog of 10 characters, each one has with different abilities, and either they fight each other, or they fight in teams, or they have a task that they have to complete. I have not played this game. So far, the reviews are, let's say, I want to say lukewarm because they say that it does have some pros. Mainly, the fun part here is that the characters are so different, but there's a lot of things missing. Now, this is the early stage of the games. It just dropped over the weekend. You can check out the trailer. For a brand new release, the reviews don't seem terrible to me. I'm not a big fan of these types of games, massive multiplayers online, or battle royale games. I'm not a big fan of them, but you know, it's free. I might check them out. It's basically competing with all the other free titles with like Fortnite and stuff like that. So, and it's Amazon, so they will be investing heavily on it in the future. So I'm guessing the roster is going to grow from 10 characters to 100 eventually, and they have to fix the issues. Like the issues that I hear so far, besides connectivity issues that they had in the beginning that supposedly has been fixed so far, is that you can't communicate between players, and that's really weird for a team game. You know, it's a 4 versus 4 game. You kind of need to communicate with your teammates. I don't know if it's all random. Honestly, I don't know enough, but it's free to play, so I'll probably check it out at some point this week, maybe today. I don't know. I have a meeting about my other job today that I'm actually excited about because it seems like things are going back to normal. For those of you who don't know, I work at a radio station, I do this podcast, and I also work at a restaurant as a bartender. That's my fun money, basically, and I've been missing my fun money, but fortunately there wasn't much fun to be had lately, and so I didn't really miss it that much. Still, I missed it. Anyway, it was also fun for me to work there. And I got free pizza and some beer, maybe. Anyway, what was I even talking about? Yeah, so we have a meeting about that today, so about opening back up. It's official. I just don't know exactly when, where, or how that's going to work, so I'm excited for that. Depends on how long that meeting is whether or not I'll be able to play. But at one point this week, I'll play. You know what? I'll do a review at one point this week of this game. What I usually do for video games when I do reviews is I guess I need to explain how money works for me. So to me, money has to equal time of entertainment. So if something, let's say minimum wage is $10 and something costs you $30, then it should entertain you for at least 3 hours. Whether you're there sitting for 3 hours and you enjoy it, or, you know, time in your head that you're still thinking about and you enjoy it. For example, a movie. Let's say you go to the movies, it costs you $10. Well, in the US, it's $15 to go to a movie, and it's a 2-hour movie. That means that 2-hour movie, if you sat there for the 2 hours and you enjoyed it, that was 2 hours of entertainment, which would be $20, and you only paid $15. Score. You're good. You're fine. So so with video games, what I do, since most video games are usually $50, I go with, all right, I'll play 5 hours, and then I'll see how I feel. This one's free to play, so I'm not exactly sure how long. You know what? I think I'll play it until I get sick of it, and we'll see. That's probably how I'll do it. I'll just play it until I get sick of it, or until I use every single one of the characters, and by that point, I should be pretty much up to snuff on how the game works. So that's probably how I'll do it. I'll just give myself a time to figure it out. But it's free on Amazon. It's free on Steam. If you want to check it out, free to do so. We also have the new trailer for Christopher Nolan's new film, Tenet, has been released. And for the life of me, I still can't fucking tell you what it's about. We got some inkling of the feel of the movie, which looks pretty good. The movie looks fantastic, even though I can't tell you what the fuck it's about. To me, it looks sort of, if Inception and James Bond had a baby. That's kind of the feel that I'm getting. I think that's what they were going for, which is great. Honestly, it's a great concept. From what we can tell from the trailer, it has to do with spies, government, and somewhat time bending. It's really complex. Honestly, I don't understand it. I want to. I really, really want to. I wish I could explain it, but I can't. It looks great. It's one of those things that looks great, but I just can't understand it yet. I'm hoping they do the whole Interstellar thing where they grab a super complicated concept and they dumb it down for you. They have to. Honestly, they did the same thing in Inception. Super complicated concept and they dumb it down for you. They have to, otherwise the movie's not going to make any sense. But what you can tell, it looks pretty good. The cast looks great. It's John David Washington from BlacKkKlansman. I believe he's the son of Denzel Washington. We also got Robert Pattinson, Elizabeth Debicki, Dimple Kapadia. I don't know how you say his name. Aaron Taylor Johnson. I did not see him in the trailer, but I guess he's there. Michael Caine and Kenneth Branagh, who I think is the villain. I don't know. Point is, new Christopher Nolan movie so far. I've loved pretty much every single Christopher Nolan film I've seen so far. And I said so far twice, right? Oh, God, idiot. Anyway, looks good. Looks exciting. Now, we also have some pretty interesting news regarding a little horrible film called Suicide Squad. So if you guys remember last week, the announcement was made that we would be getting a Zack Snyder cut of Justice League, right? You guys remember that? Justice League, Zack Snyder cut. It's coming out. It's going to be an HBO Max thing. Cool stuff. And so, since that was announced, a lot of people have been asking, hey, are we going to get a David Ayer is the director, by the way, David Ayer cut of Suicide Squad? Because there's a lot of rumors that the horrible, disgustingly bad movie Suicide Squad that we watched is not the original version. The one that they wanted to release was much, much darker, very, very different. And the reason why they switched it up was because of the success of Guardians of the Galaxy. Guardians of the Galaxy came out a little bit before. It was goofy. It was way, way, way funnier. And so WB Studios was like, you know what? We need to switch this up. This movie's too dark. And Disney just made $1 billion with the other one, so we need to switch things up. We need to make it a lot more lighthearted and goofy. And then the movie was a complete and total mess, and everybody hated it. So it is. It was, the question was dropped: will this happen? And David Ayer himself, the director, made a statement. The statement is, "It is simply not my call or my intellectual property. I love WB. It's always been my home studio. I fully respect and support the incredible path that DCU is making under their stewardship. My cut of Suicide Squad may always be just a rumor, and that's just fine." All right, so there's a little bit there to explore if you want. To me, it just doesn't sound like there's something really worth digging into, because even though David Ayer is a decent director, like, I really loved Fury. Fury is a great movie. I liked End of Watch. But the situation around Suicide Squad and the situation around Justice League are very, very different films. The issue with Justice League is that it was finished by another director due to Zack Snyder's personal tragedies, well, family issues. Yeah, family tragedies. I think that's fair. Suicide Squad, it was all David Ayer. I mean, he could have fought back against the studios. He could have made a stink once the movie came out. He could have done a whole bunch of stuff. It was him. His name and his name alone is on the final released version. So very, very, very different situations. I don't see them doing anything, honestly, because that movie was just so bad. With Justice League, you could tell where it could have gone differently that made it better. Suicide Squad, it just made no fucking sense. They ruined the Joker, and I mean brutally ruined the Joker. They tried to go as far away from Heath Ledger's Joker as they could, and it was a huge failure. The story doesn't make any sense. The villain is terrible, and the only reason why the story even happened was because of the Suicide Squad to begin with. So very different. I do not see this one coming, and or this a David Ayer cut being released anytime soon. And honestly, I'm not excited for it. I don't want to see it, and I don't care. To me, I'm looking forward to James Gunn's Suicide Squad. Let's see how that goes. But so far, let's just let things be dead. You know, that movie, it's dead. It's gone. Let's just forget about it. Let's forget it ever existed. Let's pretend like it's James Gunn's version, if it's any good. But we'll see. That's still an unknown, an unknown factor, an unknown quantity. Unknown quantity. That's how it works. I think it is. Anyway, finally, we have a little bit of news. Actually, no, 2 pieces of news. 3, technically. 3. We have some Marvel news, or Sony news, but not Marvel. Disney's Marvel. It's Sony. So last week it was rumored, or I guess it was confirmed, that Sony is working on a secret female-centric Marvel movie with TV director S.J. Clarkson. Now, S.J. Clarkson is responsible for the TV show Collateral, and she also directed a few episodes of Marvel's The Defenders. So, and actually, she's from what I've seen in her IMDb, she's actually a pretty good director. She's made quite a few things. She's worked on Jessica Jones. She worked on HBO's Vinyl. So far, can't complain about her resume. She even worked on Dexter. And I checked, it's not the bad episodes. She worked on some good ones. Anyway, it is the whole female-centric thing is what's interesting, because we also now, this week, we got a confirmation of a writer who will be working on another Spider-Man multiverse female-centric character. The author is Mark Guggenheim, who you may know from the CW's Arrow. He created the show. He's one of the big writers. He's basically worked on every single CW Arrowverse show, including, Arrow, DC Legends of Tomorrow, Supergirl, The Flash. Dude knows his comic book stuff. He actually even penned a few comic books from the character that supposedly it's rumored that he's going to be working on. And so, basically, the story means that it's rumored that Mark Guggenheim will be writing a movie for the character Jackpot. Now, if you don't know who Jackpot is, she is a Spider-Man multiverse character. There's very different versions of her, but basically, it's a superheroine with exceptional strength. That's pretty much her superpower. She's mutated from. Let me just read you the whole thing, because honestly, I've never read her, and I don't remember her from the Spider-Man TV show or anything. But here you go. The first incarnation was Sarah Ehert, a scientist who, while pregnant, is doing some gene therapy research and is exposed to Lot 777, a virus that rewrote the DNA in her cells. Her baby is born healthy, but she realizes in addition to being a new mom, she has superhuman strength after she is forced to save her family. So that was the first iteration. The next one is when she gets tired of crime fighting and the burdens that brings on our family, and so she passes on the suit to somebody else. It is unclear which character is going to be written about in this particular version, or if it's going to be a new one. We don't know. Like I said, I had heard the name, but I had never really followed any Jackpot storyline. Off the top of my head, I don't even remember her in the big crossovers. So she's probably like a B, C class superhero at best. But so if it's been confirmed that he will be writing the movie, and it's been confirmed that S.J. Clark will be directing a female-centric Marvel movie for Sony, I'm guessing you can put two and two together that it's highly likely that these two are going to be working together, which honestly, it's a powerhouse. It would be a powerhouse collaboration, because like I said, it's a person who has done pretty good work in directing at least TV shows, but let's say superhero-related content for TV. And the other guys created Arrow, which is also superhero-created content. Like the big superhero universe for TV, he created it. So honestly, it could turn out pretty well. This could be one of those situations where a unknown, relatively, well, no, I'm going to go say it unknown. If I did not know who she was, I'm going to go with unknown, because I'm pretty well versed on Spider-Man stuff. Oh, yeah, sure, I'll say that. Well versed enough. Let's say above average. I'll say above average. I'm pretty above average with Spider-Man stuff. Anyway, so if these two work together, and those two have been successful in the past, I wouldn't be surprised if this actual superhero actually becomes a big thing. Like, actually, the next big Sony project, hopefully that's better than Venom. And we still don't know what the hell is happening with Morbius. But it could be interesting, at least a nice change of pace. And they're at least they're hiring good people to do it. Now, again, it's not confirmed that Guggenheim and S.J. Clark will be working together. S.J. Clarkson will be working together. But, 1 + 1 does equal 2. And the announcements were so, let's say, near each other. But who knows? They might each get their separate things. But I don't know. To me, it just seems the most likely scenario there. And now, finally, on the final news of the day, which actually is the one that I consider to be the most exciting, producer Frank Marshall has called Jurassic World Dominion, quote unquote, the start of a new era. So, this is huge news for me because I like dinosaurs and I love the Jurassic Park franchise in general. And so, what does this mean? It means that, well, it was highly speculated that this movie was going to be the end of a trilogy, and it was going to be the end of the series as a whole. It was going to wrap up everything else. They're going to bring the old characters back, the original Dr. Malcolms and everybody, and they're going to mix him up with Chris Pratt's character, and this was going to be the end of the franchise. However, this is supposedly going to be the start of a new era, and here is the quote. The dinosaurs are now on mainland amongst us, and they will be for quite some time, I hope. What does this mean? This means I think that we will eventually get a time skip. Now, it all depends on how this movie ends, honestly. It depends on how they end up the series. But I could see in the next iteration, if they're going to continue the franchise, it's going to be a time skip, and it's going to be how the dinosaurs have taken over the world. So kind of a Planet of the Apes type of deal. And it's going to be humanity. Either, I don't see them trying to, cohabitate with dinosaurs, because that's just not going to work. But survive, I think that would be fun. Like a Turok thing. That would be really fun. Like dinosaurs versus Planet of the Apes style versus, well, except they're not going to be smart. They're just going to be dinosaurs. Raptors are pretty smart, though. So honestly, I think it could be fun. The start of a new franchise. There's a bunch of, I don't remember the name off the top of my head, but there was a TV show, an old cartoon, where there used to be humans that used dinosaurs to fight other humans. And they put actual weapons on the dinosaurs, like laser beams and stuff. I gotta find the name of that show. But I love that. I saw it when I was way too young, and I don't remember the name. But yeah, it could be fun. It could be interesting. A human world with dinosaurs in it, and it could be the start of a new franchise. Who knows? Honestly, anything with dinosaurs I'm going to watch, probably, just because I like them. I like reptiles in general. But we won't exactly know anything until the movie is released. So far, Jurassic World Dominion is slated to be released on June 11th, 2021. So that's when we will be getting our answers, hopefully, and I'm excited for it. I'm very excited for it. I did not like the second one. I thought that Fallen Kingdom was kind of bad, but if it leads to a really good third one, and then a bigger franchise where dinosaurs are in the loose in the world, I'm all in. I'm excited. Let's do it. Let's go for it. Anyway, that's it for today. Hopefully you enjoyed that. Any comments, questions, or suggestions, you can find me at Dario the Show or at SuperDarioPeriodWorld. Thank you for listening, and I'll see you again next time.